All right, Kirk. It's a good win for you guys tonight, but can you just talk about Peyton and what he did tonight after all that he's been through?
I don't have any words for it. I think it was pretty awesome. For a guy that has gone through what he's gone, and he gave us 110 and punch out 11, and just kind of does what he does. It's pretty unbelievable. His mom used to say like butter, and it was just like butter. Peyton getting back on the mound and after missing a week and going what he went through, and says a lot about him, and just pretty cool. Really cool, and for his teammates, and it was awesome. Good night for him, and good night for us.
Speaking of Peyton, the other Peyton late scratch out of the lineup, is he just dealing with something that?
Yeah, just one of those deals where just a late scratch, and we'll see where he's at tomorrow. But yeah, just kind of at this time of the year, you just got to find a way to win. Whether Chat couldn't go today, and then Ryder gets in there, and Brody's playing, through some stuff, and just gritty all the way around. And Anthony Silva hasn't had the year he's wanted to offensively, but he had 4 at-bats tonight and had 4 quality bats. Had a walk, had a homer, had a double, and then flew out, I thought, on a really good swing too. So really good signs from him. And yeah, so all around, played good defense. Peyton started it off. Hunter wasn't as dominant as he usually is, but Ben was there to pick him up. And that's what late in the year baseball is about, is if the one guy doesn't get it done, can the next guy come and pick him up? And I thought that was pretty much the game, where Ben comes in and gets a strikeout, fly out, and then a ground out. So yeah, really, really good all the way around, and Sammy at the top of the order, and he just good baseball.
Coach, how would you describe Peyton Tully as a player?
Yeah, you always want to say ultra competitive, but he also has talent to go with it. So when you have a talented young man who's ultra competitive, it's going to take a lot for the other team to be able to try and get him out, and he was hiding from me after the 7th inning to not allow me to take him out. But I think it was time after the leadoff guy got on, the 9-hole hitter, and then they turned the lineup back over, and I think it would have been their 4th at bat against them. And thought it was a good time to go to Hunter. And then, but in terms of who he is, he's the type of kid that you want your daughter to marry. That he's pretty special all the way around, and great family, and special human being.
Yeah, I saw you hug him on the mound, like when he came out. What was just said between you guys?
That's between us out there. I think he left it all out there, and I think at the end I think he finally pulled the lens back and hit him a little bit with his emotions. First time, not pitching, or first time pitching without his mom. So I think he knew when I was walking out there, his night was over, and I think it just hit him, and rightfully so. And I think the people that were here recognized when he ran off the field, what he's gone through, and I think they did a good job of honoring that.
Coach, can you walk us through the conversation you had in the 5th inning? There is the pitch clock, and then someone called time. No.
So the guy at third base called the clock violation. When I looked up when he was calling it, there was 8 seconds left. Home plate umpire said he had heard from Coach Mazey over there in the West Virginia dugout, because you can call a timeout and use an offensive timeout to get around the 10-second violation for a hitter not being in the box. And kind of one of those deals. Third base umpire had it. Home plate umpire had heard time called, and so that's kind of what it was about, and just tried to figure out what all was going on, because that was at that time 2 outs with 2 strikes and a guy on second base to be able to get out of the inning. The rules are the rules, and so had it called. They called timeout. Then they got a base hit, but then he came back and got the very next guy out and ended the inning. So
I know you're very big on focusing on the game that you're playing the day of.
Yeah.
But with the potential 5-day slate coming next week, does it kind of change your coaching decisions, pitching wise, at least any?
I mean, yes and no. I really wouldn't have liked to use Ben for more than 3 outs tonight, but we have to win the game tonight. You know, I think he threw against Baylor on a Friday and threw 2, and then he came back and threw 1 and 1. That's not the way you really want to draw it up. But when the game's on the line and, you know, we have a chance to go to him, that's a pretty good option. So, but like you said, we're sitting here now kind of with our nose just at kind of, it's not above. You know, we're still kind of trying to get that above 500 record in league, but now we're back at 14-14, and so, you know, now it's the most important games tomorrow. It's not so much about, you know, trying to set yourself up for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because the, you know, conference tournament starts a day earlier because BYU's in our league, and so our conference tournament has to end on Saturday. So we have a lot of baseball ahead of us, and you know, I think the pitchers for the most part. Yeah, I'm not sure when Peyton's next outing is going to be. You know, is it going to be Wednesday on short rest? I'm not sure, but the main thing is we got to win, and on a Thursday night to get us back to 500. Now we just got to go out and do it tomorrow and fire the bullets we need to win.
MLB Network's Intentional Talk is coming. They're going to be out here broadcasting live tomorrow. It's a pretty cool opportunity to have a show that's been on the network for 13, 14 years come out. It's the second time they've ever broadcast live from a college campus. What does it say about TCU that they picked the Horned Frogs to come here? And then, you know, I caught up with Kevin Millar earlier this week. He talked about you striking him out back in 2005.
Get many of them.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
too.
I didn't get many of them, so it's like I can almost remember the ones I did get. So very nice of him to acknowledge the fact that I did
called
punch
you a
him
bully
out.
on the mound.
A bully. I wouldn't go that far. When you throw 87 miles an hour, you're not a bully. You know, but no, it's really cool. His daughter's going to be a freshman here next year, which is cool, Kaylee, and it's going to be fun to have them here, like you said, and be able to, you know, show off our program a little bit, and you know, there's some Horned Frog ties in terms with Kevin, and so we'll have a good time with him and Ryan Dempster, and we'll have a good time. It'll be a really good day, you know, to showcase our program, and I'm sure there's going to be some good banter back and forth with Kevin and the group. So.